about the process to make a compost. So firstly, we need to find a suitable container or pot that can put all the waste inside it. Okay, because of this is just a model, so I make a container or pot by using the box and plastic, and then make sure your container or pot can make a small hole at the bottom of your container or pot, so it can prevent the raw materials or your compost get soggy. For the first layer or for the bottom layer, we usually put soil or compost as a base because it can lead to faster the composting process. Okay, so because of soil, I color it for this layer as a chocolate. Okay, the quantity of soil or compost are around 1 inches. Okay, depends on the size of your pot or container. So the next step is to put the second layer. Usually we will put the dry material. Okay, the dry materials such as I color the dry material as the yellow chocolate. For the third layer, usually we'll put the wet materials or wet ingredients or the wet waste materials such as so I colored the wet materials as a green. And for the next step, you can repeat the second and the third step, okay, for the dry layer and the wet layer. Okay, depends on the height of your container or pot until it reach 2 or 1 inches from the top of your pot or container. Because of my pot or container until this height, okay, until here, so I only can repeat for the dry layer. Okay, so the color is same as the second layer here. For the top layer, okay, as you can see, for the top layer here, usually we will add the ready-made compost. Okay, you can get the ready-made compost from the gardening shop, or if you already make a compost before, then you can use it as a top layer. Okay, this ready-made compost is usually really help to fasten composting process because of it has a good bacteria inside in the ready-made compost, and also it can reduce the bad smell from the wet, especially from the wet materials that we collected. After all the raw materials put in the pot or container, then you can close your pot and or container and put it at the suitable room temperature, because bacteria will grow in the room temperature. So after a few days or weeks, you will see the volume of compost, it will reduce a bit, okay, not too much, but it shows the results lah. So that means your compost is actually success. Okay, then you can add other raw materials inside the pot and pour a bit of water to make sure the compost still moist and not too dry or too wet. So that's all for the step to make a good compost, and it's really easy and really useful for your gardening, and your plants will grow healthy.